I can assure you that what you will observe is a vast wasteland. When Newton Minow, head of the FCC, made that comment about television programming in 1961, he had reached that conclusion after spending one whole day doing nothing but watch TV. 60 years later, it isn't any better. TV is, for the most part, a worthless wasteland of mindless nonsense, and the proliferation of options has only made it worse. As one who has wasted too much time in front of the boob tube, today's Throwback Thursday edition of Morning Minutes in the Bible on An American Missionary comes from a deep well of shame and a desire to do better and inspire you to find something more profitable for your minds. Let's reach back 42 years to a college classmate's article used by Robert F. Turner in Plain Talk magazine, November 1980, for some profitable thoughts. The Prophet of Prophets by Raymond Madrigal. The first verses of the book of Hebrews inform us that God used the Old Testament prophets to speak his will to the fathers, but that now he reveals himself to us through his Son. The purpose of the Hebrew writer is to show that Jesus Christ is the prophet of prophets, and to demonstrate the superiority of Christianity over Judaism. While most of us recognize that the New Testament is the standard for sound faith and practice, and that we should never fall into an observance of the old Mosaic law, we often fail to comprehend and appreciate a great portion of God's inspiration. A common misconception of many Bible students is that the prophets of the Old Testament were primarily predictors, foretellers of future events, especially those events which centered around the person and ministry of the Messiah. While it is true that the prophets did, in fact, predict many details concerning the Christ, this was not their principal function. Their chief purpose is found in Deuteronomy 18:18, where the Lord God tells Moses that, "I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him." Thus the prophets were preachers, foretellers of God, men who proclaimed the words of Jehovah to his people Israel. They replaced Moses as the mouth of God. This understanding of the prophets should not diminish the significance of those passages which are clearly messianic, but should point out that those references to Christ are included in the greater context in which the prophets wrote. God made a covenant with his chosen people, and they chose to rebel against him who had delivered them. By their action, the covenant made at Sinai was broken. The prophets of Israel were the preachers of the covenant, reminding Israel of the treaty they had made with Jehovah. They predicted the inevitable doom that would befall them because of their iniquity. Hosea 4:1 states that Jehovah has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land because there is no truth, nor goodness, nor knowledge of God in the land. Micah 6 and Jeremiah 2 echo this lawsuit of God. Jehovah will therefore sue or judge Israel for breach of contract. The prophets were sent to announce this near and disastrous future. No messianic reference here. Another aspect of the prophetic message was to give a divine interpretation of that disastrous history and to announce hope for future redemption. This chapter in Israel's history did not happen due to chance. God is in control of human history, and these terrible judgments occur because they are ordained of God to punish his rebellious people. The prophets explain why it all came about. If we study the prophets from a proper historical perspective, we will understand how their messages applied both to ancient Israel and to the people of God in every time and place. This is indeed the prophet of prophets. Written for Plain Talk by one of my journalism students, RFT. Thank you for that reminder, Raymond. Sadly, the people of Hosea's day who needed to hear the words of God's prophet neither listened nor profited. Instead, they filled their minds with the vast wasteland of idolatry and false worship. Will we listen and profit or ignore God's prophet and fill our minds with TV's vast wasteland to our own destruction? The choice is ours. Thank you for watching this Throwback Thursday edition of Morning Minutes in the Bible on An American Missionary. Until next time, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.